All right, episode 18. XR podcast number 18. Wow, 18 episodes. We're almost at 20. Greg's here, of course, and we got Joey Vitale here. Oh, yeah, he's been with XR for, 6 months now?
Yeah.
Welcome aboard. Welcome to your first XR podcast. Great having you.
Finally, my first podcast ever, actually.
Is it really?
Yeah, my podcast cherry today.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
No, but welcome, Joey. We're glad to have Joey
Yeah.
on the team, in the podcast.
yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Not only he's also a great guy, man. Glad to get to know him over the last 6 months. So, but you've been in the business longer than 6 months, right? You've been doing this
Since 2014.
2014. So we got 10 years coming up.
Yeah. I was actually a promoter downtown, a lot of different nightclubs. And, when that started ending, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. And one of the things I wanted to do was invest in real estate. So I didn't know anything about it. I figured, how do you get that knowledge? I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll become a realtor. I'll monitor the market a little bit, learn, get paid to learn, and then I'll start investing in real estate. And when I became a broker, I actually found out I love doing it. So I've stuck with it, and I plan on continuing on doing it for the rest of my life until I retire. Yeah.
When you say like you were a promoter and that was ending, was it just like a life change, or was it something happened different?
Things are great, and then obviously, the economy went down in 2008, and it didn't hit us right at first. We were still rolling pretty good, probably until about 2010.
Wow.
Then we started feeling it.
Really?
Things started changing. I ended up going off on my own, forming another promotion company with another friend of mine. Did that for a little bit, and then I just said I need to do something else. I need to figure something else out.
Was there like less people going to restaurants and clubs, or how did that change? Like I feel like people,
Yeah, I feel like they wouldn't be affected. But maybe I'm wrong. I have no idea.
Me too. That's why I'm asking. I feel like people were drinking more when they were depressed. I'm just saying,
You're right, but the way it ended up working out is that we had a lot of clients that were heavy into bottle service. So they would come out and they would spend a lot of money, and then obviously when their pocketbooks are getting hurt a little bit, they weren't buying the bottles anymore. They come to the bar and they would just buy drinks from the bar.
Yeah.
So I guess promoters became less valuable.
Yeah.
Venues were like, okay, we don't need you to bring all these people out anymore. They're coming no matter what, and they're just coming to the bar and not spending $1,000 anymore. Now they're spending $200.
So as a promoter, like what's your main goal? Like, in your marketing, like, hey, I'm trying to get people, like, what's, like, is that your target? People that are going to get a table, or what do you do? Do you like?
That kind of just fell in our laps. Our goal initially was just to throw a party and have a good time. And it was so successful at first that we were like, okay, let's do another one. So we started booking them, and, it kind of snowballed. And next thing you know, I'm sitting there. I was an electrician's apprentice at the time.
Nice.
And my partner was like, hey, like, this is getting pretty serious. You got to make a decision. You're going to keep doing that, or you want to do this full time?
Yeah.
So I ended up doing it, promoting full time. Yeah. And it was great.
But if you think about it, it's sorry to interrupt you. If you think about it, it's a people job, right?
It is, exactly.
So technically, it's a promoter promoting, the event, wherever you're going. But it's kind of like real estate in a way. It's still another people job. Instead of like selling the bottle, now you sell the house.
So, we would try not to sell the bottle. What we sold was an experience. It was,
I love it.
You had to have the right atmosphere, the right music, right entertainment. And if you didn't have that, people weren't going to spend money. Yeah. So, we were just trying to make people happy, and we ended up being good at it.
Makes sense. And that being said, I think we at XR, we sell the experience too.
Yeah.
It's about making the client happy, making sure that we're there for them, holding their hand.
Absolutely.
All the ins and outs about housing, about if there's something to fix and not fix, or what kind of mortgage it should go, or if they should refi later on. So we're always there.
Yep.
So it's an experience.
Yeah. And something that talk people off the ledge. Especially, I feel like this time of year, it's always this time of year it's tough. You have a lot of
it's super tough. This is like it's winter. Pretty much it's winter market.
We're winter market. Once you kind of cross the threshold, October, mid-October.
I say after Halloween, right?
Yeah. Even a few weeks before, you're kind of like, okay, it's like those. It's coming winter, and you have sellers that are getting really discouraged. You have buyers that are both sides.
Why are the sellers getting discouraged?
Yeah, it's now spring, so then it's
less showings.
Less motivation.
Okay.
Just like, and the tough part is, especially, it's really tough for the sellers that list their house in August. It's like they're looking at what sold 2 months earlier, 3 months. Yeah. What closed in June, July. Those guys were on the market in March, April.
Correct.
And things fly off the shelves.
Right.
And then they come and it's like, oh, one showing here, one showing there.
What it comes down to is demand and supply.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I think I would say that there's the same. It's just the people are not they're not in the motivation spot. I think the people in the winter are more like, I'm gonna buy next year, but I'm gonna look now, and if I see something I like, I'm gonna buy it. So they don't have no pressure.
Correct.
Versus then when that turn happens in January, February, then it's like, okay, now I gotta buy something. I've been looking around, screwing around, now I gotta buy something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just
but I say they're less motivated, right?
Yeah,
less motivated because they're thinking about the holiday season. They're getting with friends and family. They're buying gifts. They're traveling.
Yeah,
especially this year is like kind of like the official like non-COVID year. I feel like after COVID and vaccines and all that stuff.
Yeah, people not meeting up. And
people feel more comfortable doing the parties.
Yeah, everyone's going to parties.
Like the restaurants are packed. Everywhere. But that being said, if we do motivate a buyer, like me and Joy had one, and we did great, and she got a great deal.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So in a way, the buyer, I think this is the best time of the year.
It's the best time
to find a great deal.
And that's actually what I was going to ask you guys. You think there's something to the fact that, people say they can find great deals in the winter?
Yeah.
There's potentially less buyers.
Some people think like, oh, prices. No, it's like, okay, I put it like this. Someone lists a house in April or March, $425. Multiple offers, they sell for $450. That same guy lists the same house, $425. They might sell for $415, $410. Right. It doesn't look like, from a buyer's perspective, it's like, I only got them down like $10,000, $15,000. But I didn't have to compete with 10 other people. They ended up paying $40,000 more. They paid $30,000 above ass. I got them down 10. So from that, if you look at it with that scale, it's like, okay, well, correct. I got a good buy.
But there is listings now, like they'll sit longer, and then maybe let's say it's an estate sale or somebody that got divorced, right? Or someone, anything, pass away, or and they need to sell, right? They need to get rid of the property. If a buyer is motivated, they're on top of it, and they take the risk to buy in the winter, they could get a good deal.
Yeah.
Because that property might have 0 offers right now.
Oh, yeah.
Versus in springtime, though, might have more offers.
Yeah, totally, 100%. I mean, I go through it every year. I don't know. There's the ones that sell, and I'll probably have 2 or 3 that carry over.
Correct.
Take it off, put it up January, flies off the shelf.
Correct. Absolutely.
I mean, you go through it every year, and I even tell my buyers the same thing, like keep looking, keep looking.
For buyers, I think they should look. They 100%. Don't stop. Keep looking. If you find a deal, go for it. Right. I think you could negotiate. You could lowball. You could give it a try. Like what we did, Joy, and they found a great deal. Yeah. Because I think if it was,
if it's on the spot, lowball, $450. What's a lowball?
Lowball could be $400,000.
Okay.
$50,000 off.
Yeah.
That to me is a low ball.
Yeah, okay.
I have a couple listings. They offered me $100,000 less a couple days ago. I told them, dude, I'm sorry. I mean, I ask, but I'm like, $100K is a little bit. Unless it's, you never know. I don't take no. I told them.
You got to present it, but you never know. But it's like
I told them nothing is impossible. I don't want to say that because I've seen it. I'm 41, but I've seen a lot. I've seen it all.
Sometimes
so you never know, right? A war could happen. Everybody could lose their job next year, and things are worth $100,000 less, right? I don't see that happening, but you never know.
I try to tell everyone's low ball has a different. Everyone has a different.
Yeah, of course.
That's like the $1 million question everyone always asks. Like, well, what do you think? Well,
that's like when my client comes and like, hey, I saw a foreclosure. I just want to get it off their books,
Yeah.
I'll just buy, it's $300,000. They're like, I'll give them $100,000. I'm like, no, man, the bank wants a fair market price.
They have. And you got to think of a bank like it's a guy that's making a salary that's probably got a stack of papers.
You mean the guy managing the property?
The guy managing the property.
The asset manager.
He's just passing it along.
Correct.
And they're pretty by the book. Like, hey, this is what we appraised it. We're going to go by this. We're going to go by that. It's not. They're not really emotional to it. Don't get me wrong. They want to move it. They don't want it sitting there for a year. But they're not just going to take the first guy that gives it. And I think you have a lot of listings. I have some listings, and we see how many buyers come through. It's like
correct.
Sometimes people think like they're the only buyer out there. There's a World Wide Web. There's less, but there's a lot of buyers out there.
Correct. I think this year more than other years, people are a little bit like, besides it's winter season that slows down. It just people, there's all this gloom and doom, right? Yeah. Oh my God, the rates are super high. It's a slow market.
Yeah, and then we get national news like, okay, what's happening in Chicago area? It's not the same as San Francisco.
Correct.
It's not the same as a rural town that had a COVID boom and now is on the in Idaho, and then all of a sudden now, okay, there's no really jobs there, so no one's really
correct.
No one wants to live there anymore or whatever. So you got to kind of go with the local.
Right. But we see this every year. I feel like I've been every year. I've probably seen it too, Joey. Right, for the past 10 years you've been doing it. It's like a cycle. Around this time of year, it does slow down.
So
and then all of a sudden January pops. People get off, finish the holidays and everything, and they want.
And it's like a New Year thing. Like, hey, we're gonna move. We're gonna make the move next year.
Yeah.
So then once they're done with this, then they're just like itching to get out there.
Right.
And then everything's going out there, and it's like a cycle. It's the same cycle in the winter. People see, oh, this house is sitting, that house is sitting. Maybe why am I buying? Maybe I shouldn't buy. I'm hearing this thing on the news.
Right.
And then the spring comes. Oh, that one's gone. That one's gone. Oh, I better get something.
Correct.
Now, Joey, you bought. I mean, probably your house you're living in recently. So what was that? What was that like? When did you buy? 20.
Oh, I bought during COVID, so everyone was going over
not super recent, but more recent than us.
Yeah. So we put in multiple offers in different places, and I mean, just the amount of money that these sellers were getting for their houses was insane.
Yeah,
it was insane. But now looking at it, they probably got those people that bought got equity.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Now, so it's like
at that time though. I mean,
it's always at that time.
But you have to look into like the reason behind, right? Like when you went to buy it, you bought it for your family.
Yeah,
you're gonna be there for long term.
Exactly.
Right? If it was like a flip. Maybe I would tell you, Joey, what are you doing, right? But you're going to be there for the next 10, 15 years.
It's an investment, but at the same time, you're enjoying it, right? I tell buyers, just buy something you like. You're not going to get nothing for free in this market. Yeah. Just if you're on the fence about it.
I feel like what housing is a little bit like, sometimes you could overpay for like, I don't know, I overpay my freaking phone every time. And it's not worth the same the next year or in 2 years, in 3 years, 4 years. No, it's not. It's worth less. But in a house, whatever it is, I don't even know. Maybe, but the government and American system wants to keep up. The housing sector keeps up with inflation. Yeah. Because money's worth less every year, but the housing keeps up with inflation.
Everybody needs it.
Yeah, everybody needs it. But it keeps up with inflation. Like that doesn't happen like in Europe. You know what I mean? Housing is not keeping up with inflation. I'll tell you the truth. I bought a property there. When did I buy it now? 10 years ago? I can't remember. It's still worth the same price. It hasn't gained not even $1.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It's just different. They're looking.
But why? Because they don't promote. Europe doesn't promote the housing market like United States does. Yeah. United States, there's a lot of stuff, jobs around housing.
Yeah.
And it's an asset in a,
and I think here there's a lot more movement. Like, let's face it. People over there, I mean, from who I know, right? Not everybody. They get a house, that's their house. It's done.
Correct.
They get it, they move in.
Correct.
They don't really move. Here, it's like the average is every 7 years.
But that's the capitalism system here that we have. It's great. It works.
Yeah.
People always itch to move, to improve.
They improve themselves. They want a bigger place. They want to change. They want to find a bigger, I know. And it's nice to have the option. I think over there, it'd be tough for someone to
It's great for our job, too.
Yeah. That's why.
For now. You don't know if things change.
Things could always change. But that's why it is a good system, and but I think if you buy something you like,
but
you're
that's
not gonna lose.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying the reason why I said all that. It's just if a buyer's scared right now. If I have a buyer and they're scared, they're like, I know it's a great time, and Greg, you told me the wintertime is a great time, and I do believe that. But they're still like, what about this happens and that happens? Yeah, I'm like, listen, if you're buying like Joey did. For your family, for the next 10 years, you're going to keep the property, then you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's going to wash itself out. Even if something crazy happens.
Yeah.
Well,
here's the thing, too. You got, especially now, this is actually going to work to their favor from what we see. If you bought now, the rates they were up to 8%. Now they're down to like 7.5-ish, maybe a little bit lower. If there's something crazy happens, those rates they're going to drop the rate.
Correct, of course.
So you're going to be even in a better position.
Of course.
And rent's high, man. Where you got to live somewhere.
Rents are high.
I mean, I think there's nothing more conservative than buying a place you're going to live in.
Correct.
Like if you're going to buy it, I'm going to Airbnb, and I mean that's good too, and I'm going to do this and that, and you're depending on all this income to pay. It's a little bit more risky. But if you're going to live there, it's kind of like you can't get more conservative investment than that. You can't. I mean, you're enjoying the place. You got a roof over your head. You got to live somewhere.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, but that's why going back to the buyer could get a good deal. The client that we had, how many showings you did with them?
Oh, I don't know, a lot.
A lot, right? Yeah. But all these houses were available.
Yep.
Like they had a shot. They could put offers. It wasn't like when you went to buy and you had to act fast.
Yeah.
You know,
couldn't even think about it.
You couldn't even think about it.
There was
right?
lines out the door back then.
There
like
really
I used to have open houses, and there was like lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was too much. Yeah,
it was too much.
It was too much. You know, there was a lot of that demand that people were like, antsy to move and antsy to buy.
And I think too, like I just saw something about the new home, man. With still from the housing crash in 2008, the new construction hasn't kept up, like compared to the average they would build. And then you got, that's what I tell people. And then you got the biggest generation, millennials, that have been getting into housing the last 5 to 10 years.
Correct.
They're bigger than the baby boomer. Everyone's like, oh, the baby boomers are like, yeah, but the millennials are bigger. They're a bigger population. All those people are getting into housing. You had the construction down, so it's kind of like the demand is still there. So
yeah, I think so too.
So on the flip side, sellers. So I had some of my listings. They're like, and I was kind of telling them like, I'm setting the same. I'm like saying, hey, it's fall, it's winter, it's not the best time to sell. I don't want to scare them and say it's not the best time. At the same time, you have low inventory. There's not a lot out there.
All right, so we're in the winter. Let's go back to that question. We're in the winter season.
Yeah.
The seller comes like, hey, Frank, I want to list a property. What should I do? You know what I mean? Should I list it now? Should I list it later? Should I wait? Now wait?
Yeah. So
what's your personal...
my personal thing was the one in particular, the house was empty. I'm like, it's not like you're going to be inconvenienced with showings.
Yeah. And they might have expenses too.
You have expenses. I go, if it's not for sale, it's not going to sell. Yeah. I go, we could try. We put it up. Let's see what happens. There's always could be someone in a bind. We have no inventory really for where they're at, and they're like in no hurry to sell. They're like, I want to try to get the most money. I go, okay. I mean, it might not go, but I'm just saying, let's give it a shot. We'll try it a couple months. If anything, we'll take it off for the holidays, put it back in January, and we'll go. I mean, there's no risk in putting it up early. So we did get an offer. Then, of course, winter market, they just like 2 days later, like, oh, it's too much for them, and they just got cold feet. But if you're someone that if it's somebody like, hey, I got to do work, I want to get this ready, I'm like, take the extra time now,
Correct.
Get the stuff ready, let's get it looking its best, and we'll put up in the spring. If they're okay with it, if they got to make a move quickly, make them quickly. I got 2 buy-sells now, so they wanted to make a move. They found the house they liked. Boom, boom, got them both. I mean, we're supposed to close. We got a title company hijacking. We're supposed to close Friday, so I don't know what's going on with that.
What do you mean hijack?
That's interesting, huh?
Fidelity, who owns Chicago Title, got hijacked with ransom. So they got they're in their system. I don't know. They got money. They're not letting that. They're holding their money, and they can't close. They can't schedule closings.
Yeah, I know.
So Chicago Title can't schedule closing.
Yeah.
We're supposed to schedule it for Friday, but
Fidelity got a cyber attack.
Correct.
Yeah, cyber attack, and they own a lot of title companies, and they own Chicago Title.
Yeah, they're the biggest. Fidelity is like the biggest underwriter.
Fidelity is one of the biggest underwriters. So a lot of stuff got affected in the real estate world.
Yeah.
Within closings, within 1031 exchange. I personally have like about a client there's about almost $1 million in 1031 exchange accounts. It's there. It just the cyber attack is affecting the system and everything's shut down. So they should be coming up and running, I believe by tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what they told us.
I have some closing schedule, but yeah, scary stuff.
Yeah, it's like you know. So imagine these people. Like, my guy's moving out today. He's moving out today, and we're supposed to sell it. We're supposed to close on his sale on Friday and his buy on Friday. I hope, but we're waiting. So I've never had, it's the first time I've had a cyber attack delaying my closing. I was really pushing to, but that's another winner example, right? He had a great property. I had under contract. The lady got cold feet. I was still able to get somebody else and still make the closing date for his buy because we were under contract on his buy. But now I got a cyber attack, so
you'll be fine.
No, it's gonna get.
You'll be fine. Nothing.
I mean, he might just said you might be living with your family for a couple extra days, but we'll get there.
Yeah, I know you'll be fine. And nothing too scary. You know what I mean? It'll be fine. It's just the system is down. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But again, wintertime, I feel like if you're a buyer, again, going back to winter, I think it's a good time to buy.
Oh, great time.
I think you should look. You should not, feel defeated.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of, another buyer of mine got a great deal too. And just the other day I closed. Yeah. Today I closed one. They had a great deal. So they're all getting a pretty decent deal if you're looking back. And then also, you anticipate you do it before everybody else comes out, right?
100%.
Comes out of the wood.
And you're closed, you're in your house, and then you're not dealing with all the, multiple offers. I'll give you another. So I had another offer in on one, right? And you were talking to Adam about this yesterday when we came in. What happened? We had an offer, we lowballed. Had an offer, put it in. They countered us,
yes.
2,000 less. I tell them okay. Then they wanted that we came up. By the time we came up, I get a text. Frank, I got 2 more offers. Went up to asking price, which was over their counter. Didn't get it.
Yeah.
So now they had nothing. So it's like don't think you're the only. That's my thing. Don't think you're the only buyer. If it's a good deal and it's fair, just do it. Just do it. If you need the place, that's what I say. Especially if you've been looking a long time.
Yeah.
But
I was telling about. With Adam, I was telling about special energy out there.
Special.
No, I do believe it. There's properties that I have. I get properties, right? I got listings on properties that I went for, and they had 0 offers, 0. And then all of a sudden, something comes in, like I get something, or maybe I put an offer, and then all of a sudden, there's 2-3 other people that pop from nowhere. I say there's a special energy out there that's. Like get other people attention.
I think it's in any business, right? You have a restaurant, all of a sudden you get what the heck? Where's everybody at? One guy comes in, next thing you know, 10 people come in out of nowhere. You're like, where you guys been all day? I don't know if it works for you. It's the same thing for you. So it's like, if you're going to see the house and you think it's good,
correct.
There's going to be another couple people in the world that think it's good. So it's not just going to be you. If you think it's good and you like it, probably someone else is going to like it too.
Yeah.
So,
but if you're out there and do stuff, things are going to come, right? Like Joey, we sold that client. Now all of a sudden she's going to sell her property too. So it's kind of like right there, from nothing, you got 2 transactions.
I bought in the middle of summer, actually. Yeah.
See, summer's not bad. Summer is part of it. I say from Memorial Day to New Year's. That's my. You could probably go a couple more weeks in January, but that's when things kind of start to slow down. What I see. I think it kind of peaks in April, and then it's still busier than now, but I think it's kind of on the downturn that time.
It's like kind of like the farm, right? When there's season for like when you plant tomatoes, zucchinis, you could grow them, but there's times when tomatoes, you grow them a certain time of the year, they'll grow better than other times of the year, because of the weather. So there's season. That's how it is with real estate too, in a way. There's season where it goes faster, and there's season that it takes more time.
Yeah.
It's really like, it's almost like a mat. It's like, certain markets, especially the Midwest market,
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's why for sellers, like you said, you advise them to put in the market. I do the same thing. Yeah. And then maybe, a week before Christmas, maybe if the weather is bad, I'll take it out for a couple weeks, let Christmas go by, New Year's, and then relist it right after.
Yeah.
But January, man, it's a big month. January, February, I'm the busiest of the year.
No, I think for us, that's where people are just you're not closing, but you're out. Yeah. You're out, and you're hitting it hard.
Yeah.
So,
but this is a great time to meet people. Those people, even if we call them wishy-washy, it's good time to meet new people. There's a lot of buyers out there.
Oh yeah. Well, and I think that's the cycle, right? People, they're kind of like, all right, well, next year I want to move next year. So as soon as that New Year's comes, they're ready to roll. Like they want to shop. So no, it's if you could get kind of contact with them now and keep them engaged, I think it's
we just of course we could talk about all the good stuff, right? I say like, hey, do open houses, do your mailers. But sometimes, like, Joy did open house the other day, and you got how many people show up?
No one.
No one.
Yeah, I was there by myself, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately, with them.
You did a lot of self-reflecting.
But give you time. But you gotta hopefully knock some doors around the neighborhood. I know. Did some social media.
Definitely.
and it worked out. But.
And it's brutal, man. When you have a seller and they're like, hey, how did the open house go? And you have nobody, you got to kind of keep their spirits up, right? You got to kind of, we've been through it. So it's like, okay, it's going to happen.
A lot of people are also scared. There's a lot of stuff going on. Let's be real, right? There's 2 wars going on. Yeah. There's inflation. There's people, making fun of the president. I'm just saying, whatever side you're at. I'm telling you, it's reality. That's what's on YouTube and the news, right? So I say, what do you think about next year? Like, what do you think about Joy next year? What on the real estate side, not the world?
I mean, we're seeing that rates are dropping right now, right? So I think it's gonna create more buyers. Hopefully, we get some more inventory for these buyers. I think we're gonna have a good year next year.
Okay,
I agree. I think it's gonna be similar to this year. I don't think.
I think he's right though.
Yeah,
with a good year, because if the rates drop a little bit, especially being an election year, right? They're going to try to push it to keep them lower or drop them because, Democrats want to win again. And, whatever their plan is. But for real estate, that means that there'll be more buyers. There are going to be more buyers. The buyers always looking. And with the rates, they'll be a little bit more affordable.
Yeah.
And then you might get more inventory because of all this leftover from the winter.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. The sellers that have the 3-4%. They're tough. They're a tough shell to crack. But I feel like if they're confident they can get something and they need the bigger plays, then I think we get some more inventory for these people. I think the buyers I don't think there's gonna be a shortage. I think there's a lot of buyers that have been on the sidelines for a long time and they're just waiting to come out. So So I think if there's more inventory, I think there's an appetite for it. So since 2017, I've been hearing this doom and gloom for real estate. I mean, I remember. We follow a lot of guys, coaches, real estate coaches, and remember we were talking back then. They were saying like, "Oh, save your money,"
correct for the big crash,
and that was 2017.
It was 2017,
and look at where we're at now. I mean, not to say it's always going to be good, but even with, you talking the rates went from 3 to 8, and the prices haven't moved here in Chicago.
Correct. Yeah, because the rents went up, and there's inflation, and there's demand.
That's a big jump.
But there's still jobs. I think that's the big thing. We got to think about too, like, we experienced like the crash. I know you kind of got into the market, the real estate business after.
Yeah.
Right into it. Things could happen too. We can't say it's impossible. Like, I don't want to say and be a hypocrite and say impossible, everything good. Things could happen.
Things could happen. Okay. I just,
until people work.
I bought in that crash. I bought and I got smoked. Yeah. But I think
you were spooked.
I was
we were
smoked,
talking
we got
about
killed. But at the same time, those prices are not from the prices that are out there now. And you're talking 20 years ago.
You mean the prices are higher?
The prices that were back in like 06, 07. Prices of homes.
Okay.
Now, there's going to be some suburbs and some city spots that got super hot. Fulton Market, it was a full market in 2006. That's what it is.
You mean the prices now are higher than 06?
They are, but not by much. But, but you look at the income.
Okay, approximately. Yeah, and people make more money.
People make a lot more money than
so that's good.
So that's what I'm saying. It's different. Good. You can't say...
That's true. And that's why maybe that's the reason why it's keeping up.
Yeah, so when people...
That's the reason maybe 8% is not as big deal. Because people make more money.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Okay. You're talking...
That's a valid point.
So when people say like, oh, it's so high. I'm like, well, tell the guy...
That's a valid point.
Who was it? I just did one. And I was looking at what they paid.
I see it by income.
They look what they paid. They made like no money. They made no money.
No, you could listen. It's really simple. Look at McDonald's. The minimum wage back then was like I believe it was $7.
Yeah.
$7, $8. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Probably not even $7, but go
ahead.
But
now, I could tell you myself. I was working in banking in 04, 03, and I was making $8.
Yeah, okay.
I was a minimum wage almost, $8.25, and they thought they were paying me a lot. What do you got to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
and now
that's what it was. Now you're not going to get less than $15.
Yeah.
Costco guy, in a warehouse will make like $16 to $20. Yeah. Easy.
I see Bona Beef.
And all you have to do is
$18 an hour.
$18. Yeah, just got to stuff some beef.
So back then it was $7.
Yeah. So that makes a big difference.
And those prices were the same almost.
That makes okay. So that's a valid point.
Right?
People make more money. But what about if there's something more crazy that happens, right? I don't think. I think they're trying to predict it not happen, right? That's why there's a close eye to the stock market. That's why the stock market hasn't crashed.
I mean, then you're kind of betting on like America as a whole. Like, if that happened, I just think it's going to take something. It would take something pretty severe for like to have like another real estate.
But are you scared if it does happen?
I can't live like that.
I know, but if it does happen, you're scared.
What am I gonna? No.
Like, what do you? I see.
No,
more.
I'm not.
Okay,
Joey,
no.
what am I scared? What am I gonna do? If I gotta go change jobs, it's.
I'm not talking about changing job, but more like I see more opportunities.
Oh,
if it does happen, I have more opportunities. I'll keep what I have.
I mean, honestly, the crash.
That's why I have a plan. Like whatever you have right now, don't overspend. Don't overdo it. Don't because you make a good income right now and you could afford $1 million. Don't buy $1 million house. Absolutely not.
No.
Buy one that takes maybe one paycheck or maybe a paycheck and a half to pay your home, not 50%.
I know, but some people don't make that much, and they have to, and they're trying. That's kind of where the price comes in, where they're making with the rates, right? I mean, some of these houses they got their payments $3,000, and if one guy's making after taxes.
Okay, so maybe you got to buy the grandma house that needs a brand new kitchen and brand new bath, and you got to just live a little bit more humble.
Exactly.
And you got to paint up the cabinets.
Yeah. No.
Right? And
I agree.
Live a little bit cheaper.
I did it. I mean, that's how it was. I mean, you're always gonna spend more than you feel like you should spend, right?
Correct.
You're always gonna want, like, if I could get it for this, it'd be great. I'd be comfortable. And sometimes, most of the time,
listen, I just had a client because we went through all this stuff, right? We don't know what's going to happen. He's concerned, right?
Yeah.
What's happened next year? What about there is a crash? What about, stuff goes bad, right? And he was scared. I'm like, listen, we'll figure out the long run real estate is always going to be good because if you live there more than 10 years, I feel like you'll be fine. But he wants to go on the safe side. So he bought a house that's beat up, needs some work, some touch up, and also has potential of his basement being rented on the side.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's legal. There's a lot of illegal basement there. But
maybe he's gonna get a family member.
Yeah, maybe get a family member, some. No,
yeah.
But actually he is.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
And then the garage, he's looking like, kind of like, what they say now, they talk about house hacking. Everybody talks with the new words.
The new word.
But it's kind of like a house hacking in a way. And so he protects himself. And then, worst case scenario, if there is something goes bad, he saves some money on the side to go in the market and buy the opportunity.
I mean, I'll say that like the crash, my house I bought, I got crushed, but that gave me. I didn't give up. I didn't say, forget real estate.
Correct.
That actually helped me get to where I am now because everything went down. Like if it was to continue to grow and my house went up another 50,000, or
I know, but Frank,
I wouldn't be able to buy anything.
Yeah, but I think it educated you how to buy smart.
Oh yeah.
And that's what we're here for. Me, Joey, you, to educate buyers what we didn't have. When we bought originally, nobody told me, educated me. I should be careful. I should, make sure I watch out. Yeah. That's the truth.
I know, but it's tough. Sometimes you. I mean, come on. I've gotten old timers. They've killed people's deal. They come, they're like, oh, it's too much. You're gonna pay all this money for this place, and then the guy should have bought it. And now he got priced. So it's like you gotta look at it. Okay, if I'm scared, you can't look at it. Oh, there's this war. This economist said that. You got to look at your situation.
Yeah,
this is my job.
The difference.
Is my money going to be at risk?
They're different school of thought too. Like there's one. It could be like people follow all these influencer now. One could be a Dave Ramsey's thought of school, right? You just buy smart, buy cash, make sure you have your 20%. Make sure you pay off your house. That's one. And then there's another cool thought, the Grant Cardone style, buy and bet on, equity, and it goes up. I mean? If you get
I think you can't play the market. You can't play I don't play the market. I don't
either.
I look at
I'm in between Grant Cardone and Ramsey. I'm in between. I'm conservative, but I'm not too conservative because I do want to be out there and get the opportunity. I'm in the middle.
I would if it's just a regular buyer that's not like going to be a real estate trying to get to be 50, get all these units. It's like I would just say, okay, your job, the money you make. If you're to lose it, are you going to be able to find another job that pays the same? Like, what's the probability? What's like if I'm making, if you're working at a bank and you're like, okay, there's always people hiring. I'm always going to get, but if you're working on like a commission and you're just like in this field where everything's blowing up and I made a record, like you can't depend on that money. But if you're working like a secure job, and you were going to be an electrician, if it's like, okay, it depends on your outfit, what you think. I mean, nothing is guaranteed in life, but if you feel like you're always going to make that money, then, do something that's more long-term. Okay, maybe that's a little bit more than I could afford, that I wanted to pay, but I'm going to be here a long time.
Yeah.
So hopefully in 4 years, I'm making money, the rate comes down, and then I'll be in a better position. But for now, we'll be okay. So, because sometimes people go do the small route, and then they're stuck there. Like, I'm going to buy this, 5 years, I'm going to sell and buy something else. I mean, some people literally, they can't get out of the house. They're like, I got to sell. I mean, I don't know.
And that's fine too sometimes.
That's fine too.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's not. I mean,
you know what I mean?
You can't predict. My point is, you can't predict the future. So you got to kind of look at your situation.
I know you got to give it a try.
You got to look at your situation. Hey, worst case is like, you can't. You got to look at your personal situation. You can't just.
No, I like to be really optimistic and but I also want to be real because we can't.
Yeah, you can't. But I mean, how many people actually write down every bill they have? Probably, I'd say less than 1%.
Correct.
They the car breaks. And then they look at, okay, my car payment's this, credit card's this.
What do you think, Joey? Overall?
Yeah, Joey.
I actually just wrote down all my bills the other day.
I love it.
Redoing my budget.
How old are we?
What?
We're older. It took us
It's probably been 2 years since I've done that.
But you wrote that, but I'm like, but some people write them down, but then they don't figure. My car is probably going to break down 2 or 3 times this year.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Something else is going to happen. I'm going to have something to fix it. My furnace might go out. So there's that's what really gets to people, and that's what really puts them over that edge. So you got to say, I got my family, they're having like this thing, we're all pitching in, we got to go out to dinner. Oh, now we got to go on vacation. Like, you can't just say, this is my payment, I got $1,000 left. Okay, then, furnace breaks and you got a, $3,000-$4,000 bill. I didn't know about that. You know what I mean? You got to anticipate these things.
When you bought Joy, did you try to buy smart, right? Like, I know you had to
smart as I could. Yeah. Well, I mean, I chose the right area. I knew that I was going to appreciate there, so I didn't mind spending a little bit more.
But besides the area and the location, spend a little bit more, you also, based on your bills and everything, you made sure that you could afford it.
Absolutely.
You'd be okay. Mm-hmm. That if you had to go work a second job, you could work a second job. You didn't overdo it, right?
No. Plus, we have the emergency fund in case the furnace
doesn't run.
Whatever the case may be.
So,
you have to anticipate that.
Like maybe you were approved for $2 million, but you went to buy $1 million. But I'm just saying, right? Like,
he's got $1 million house.
Yeah, but it's important stuff. Like, that's why, I bet on real estate. I'm 200% in real estate. I own property. I keep buying. I bought this year, last year, every year I buy, whatever the market is. But I try to buy as smart as possible, right?
Yeah. But you're looking at it, you're buying different. If he's buying for a house for family, like he wanted to live in that town.
The first time buyer, I want to make sure you should be concerned. You should watch 100%. Out. Because it could be beautiful buying a house, or it could be a nightmare.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure you do it the right way. Once you're in it and you're in real estate and you're savvy and you got the emergency fund and you have peak connections and you have people, then maybe things get easier, right?
No, they do get easier. You do get easier.
I'm just saying, by personal experience. You know what I mean? I think my first couple ones were terrible. Of course, I got better and better in it, and now I have.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just kind of, isn't that life? And you do anything for the first time. It's like, okay, you're doing real estate for the first year. It's like you're messing up. Then once you're in it, then you're like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I've been through this before.
I know. But that's really important to have a good guide. That's why. That I want to mention us again, XR. But we'll tell you the real. We'll talk real.
We've all been through it.
Yeah, we'll give you the real talk.
We've all been through it.
Exactly. You could go through some agents out there. Don't get me wrong. I love all the agents out there in the business. But some people make it too easy.
I had the condo that fell apart. The buyer was a realtor. She didn't know what she was doing. She couldn't even get the loan.
She couldn't even get the loan.
You
felt bad.
I was like, what do you, and they had money with, she found out she owed money here, money there, had to borrow it. And I was like, holy cow. Maybe, it's so.
Yeah. But maybe because she's,
But I mean, it was still like, but the thing is she's paying the same payment in rent. So again, it kind of like maybe you shouldn't be renting that fancy apartment, and and then I had a couple that they wanted to live in this area, they couldn't afford it.
Can I ask you how much she was paying in rent? Do you think?
Over $2,000, I think.
Okay, that's a lot for rent.
Yeah, there's the $2,000 luxury, and then there's the $1,200.
Like unless you're making if you're paying $2,000 in rent, you should be making at least $100K a year. I'm just saying, like $2,000, it's quite a bit, like for wasting your money.
Let's say if you use if you use the 25%, that would probably be $8,000 a month. That's a lot, yeah. So 80, yeah, you're right there.
Yeah, because I'm saying you could make $100,000, after taxes and.
You got to keep,
after taxes and your 401k and your pension.
I'm just saying, sometimes people
else.
they see something they like, they want it. I got to have this, I got to have that, I got to have that. Like that's great, and I think it's good to have a goal. I think you should have it. But and the flip side, I've had somebody else. They wanted to live in a certain neighborhood, which is a little bit more prestigious than they were living. They rented their house. They moved in with family for 2 years, saved their money.
That's nice.
And they bought the house they wanted.
Yeah, that's good.
They made it happen. So. You can make it happen. It's just you got to suffer.
They did the Dave Ramsey way.
You got to suffer a little bit.
Yeah,
you got to suffer a little bit.
You're gonna make sacrifice. Yeah, you have to go.
All right, so we got to give some advice here. What do you? Someone that's getting ready to buy now, or like
who are we giving advice to? The buyers?
Oh well,
why are you laughing?
I don't know. You started.
All right, no. Advice to buyers.
Advice to buyers. Okay, well, they're coming out. We got to give some kind of advice. What kind of thing would you do?
That's what I advise them. Besides looking for the deal, besides looking at the market, right now they should talk with their agent, and then the agent should advise them to talk with the loan officer right away. Because you might be looking right now, and you might think you're approved for $400,000, but maybe you're not. Yeah. Maybe you should talk with the loan officer and have a game plan. Maybe you got to fix your credit a little bit, right? Maybe you have to do something with your taxes to make sure you qualify for your dream home that you're buy in January or February.
Well, even if you are approved, like I have somebody now, they're approved. Don't get me wrong, they're approved, but their score's lower because they didn't pay some stupid $100 bill.
Yep.
And now they're kind of in a pigeonhole with what loan program they could do, and the rates higher, and especially when it gets competitive. In your FHA, it's hard.
Yeah, you're out of luck.
You're out of luck. Any conventional, they're gonna call the conventional guy and be like, "Hey, I got an FHA this much. Can you give it to me?"
You got to have a plan.
So the earlier there's no cost to talk to. There shouldn't be any cost to talk to a loan officer. There's no cost talking to us.
You got to have a plan.
Yeah.
You got to have I guess the biggest advice: have a plan. The buyer should have a plan. Of course, right now, talk with us. You want to see some homes? Yeah, we're here. We'll show you. You want to plan to scoop some locations? Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Right?
I always tell people.
But also have a financial plan.
Oh, 100%. Okay. The earlier the better, because you never know when that house is going to pop up, and then you're going to be scrambling. And then you're going to get sticker shock. Oh, is this guy ripping me off? Get all that out of the way, and then you're just worried about buying your house.
It's all about the plan. I think in life in general, you got to have a plan. I always had a plan. God bless. I guess I got to do good DNA. But I had a plan when I was a kid. I was always thinking about what I'm going to do, what's happening in the future. You got to have a plan.
So they should.
I tell my kids right now they got to have a plan.
DNA test.
Would it be a bad idea?
DNA.
I'm saying
went from getting pre-approved to having good DNA. Anyway, so
I went off topic.
So that's what I would do. I will, like you said, talk to as many people, and you could even and pay attention. Everyone's looking online. They could see everything. Everything's pretty much public record. See what these houses sold for. Like if you see a house, look up the last 6 months, or have us look it up. Hey, can you send me like what this one sold for, that one sold for? Then
I agree.
You're just educating yourself, and then you can make a well-informed decision. It's not like going to Target. You can't just I'm ready for that pair of pants. I'm gonna go there and buy it, and that's what it costs, $3. But and then you could figure out what area you want to be in. Like Joey, I don't know where he's at. Where did he have his $2 million house?
I think we're about to take my coffee's low. I'm taking a halftime break. Hey guys, are you going shopping by the hip this year and buying your Christmas present? You got to come at XR. Something's happening special.
We're having Christmas carolers on the 16th, 3:30 to 6:30. Santa's going to be here. We're going to have hot chocolate, cookies, coffee, all for free. We're also going to be giving away mugs and other stuff as well. So we're going to do it on, again, Saturday, the 16th, 3:30 to 6:30, and then again on Friday, 5:30 to 8:30, the 22nd.
The 22nd.
Yeah, two days.
But these are special carols.
Yeah, it's
right?
not going to be us. Don't worry, we're not singing.
We're not singing. Professional. So come and check out.
We're coming to celebrate. Hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, and we hope to see you guys here.
Come and have a jolly with us.
Okay, Greg had a caffeine sugar crash.
Sugar crash.
We gotta make sure his snacks.
We done 18 of these, and I'm like, you know what? We got to come up with something. We got to have a halftime. There's a halftime and everything. We play sports, and everything. So there's even break at school. So now we have a halftime. So I go get my coffee, keep it hype up, and I got my cornetto, guys. And yeah. You don't like cornetto, man?
Of course I do.
So I'm gonna eat. And Joe Rogan does it on their show. Why can't I eat? So,
I guess.
So that's it.
I guess, sure.
You guys could talk. What's your next question for?
Well, we're gonna talk. We're talking about people want new buyers. They want to look. You could scope out some areas.
You guys want some?
No, thanks.
No, thank you.
You sure?
Yeah, it's got the. Well, what kind is this?
It's good. It's with the crema.
No, I like it empty.
You like it?
I get it plain. Maybe chocolate. No, I don't want it.
All right, next time.
Next time. You're a big sweets guy.
But anyways,
Joey, where did you end up? Glencoe? You get $2 million. Greg says it's $2 million. Oh no, you settled. You were going for $2 million budget.
Yeah,
you settled on one.
Decided to go a little bit lower. Yeah, I'm over in Niles right now. Yeah, I love it. I was looking around in Morton Grove where my in-laws are living right now. Also Park Ridge, Norridge.
Their in-laws in Morton Grove.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice there.
Yeah. We actually stayed there for a little bit while we were renovating the house. So.
I see that little sacrifice.
Yeah. You have to.
Yeah.
So Joey knows all about it. Mm-hmm. So if he finds a first-time buyer, he knows exactly how to educate them.
Yeah. He bought smart and he married smart. He's got the in-laws that help him stay at the house. See, he did everything. See?
Yeah, that's right.
It's a whole plan. The full lifetime.
Married smart, that's important.
The plan trait showed up on my DNA test too.
But it's nice. That's great.
You're pretty familiar with the Northwest side.
Yeah. I have a lot of friends that moved out that way. So
you've done some real estate, like in Niles, and okay. Where else? Park Ridge? You said Park Ridge too?
Yeah. I have friends in Park Ridge, Edison Park.
Nice.
Des Plaines, Morton Grove, Glenview.
Man.
So basically the whole surrounding area, all around Niles.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, that's the kind of like because you've been in the business 10 years, right? And you work somewhere else, another firm they're really cool. They're cool people there. Shout out to Mo and company. But you join us because we're closer to home now, right? Yep. So we're closer. You're like, hey, it's more convenient. Come to the office. Do a lot of Northwest side.
You got cornette. You could eat on the podcast.
You get cornette.
That's right.
Yeah, we do got coffee.
I don't know if Mo has that at his place.
No, he doesn't. I don't think. For this season, I don't know. I never been there.
But no, I'm joking. But besides that, so before the whole Northwest side, where were you before then?
I was in Bridgeport.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Man.
born and raised.
Old neighborhood.
Yeah, it is.
So you grew up in Bridgeport?
I did. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's own little world.
Yeah, like what's the difference? Like, okay, versus there? You've obviously lived a good chunk of your life in Bridgeport versus Niles. It sounds like you're way out in Schaumburg.
Oh no,
but you're close to the city. It's kind of got a city feel, but definitely different feel than like Bridgeport's an old Chicago neighborhood. So
yeah.
So what was that like?
Growing up there was great. It's its own little, like I said, its own little world. It's you'd walk down the street and you would see 10 different people driving by or sitting in front of their house that you knew. People are asking, "Oh, how's your grandmother doing?" Or "How's so and so." So
kind of like in Italy, how
it's exactly how it was.
Yeah, well, it's just a tight knit neighborhood.
That's nice. I like that. Yeah. Your parents still there?
In Bridgeport, yeah, pretty much my whole family's still in Bridgeport.
Oh wow, that's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, so I still get to go down there sometimes. See some of my friends.
Yes. But you've done business out there too, right?
Yeah, that's where the majority of my business was when I was living down there. Yeah,
nice. So you're really familiar with the whole Bridgeport area,
South Loop. Yeah,
kind of like this guy right here. This guy right here. Sorry, Joe.
That's all right.
This guy right here, like you a little bit. He lives in Norwich. He does a lot of the Northwest side, and then a lot of his sales, he was like top agent of Hyde Park. I'm like, what?
I don't know if I was top agent. Hyde Park.
Dude, you were like one of the top agents there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my brother moved out there probably. He was actually back, I don't know, I would say 2010.
That was a long time.
And then I just love Chicago, actually. I know, it's not the popular thing to say with all the stuff on the news, but yeah, it's
stuff? Come on, we got to embrace Chicago.
Yeah, no, I love it. I couldn't live anywhere else. And I've been working,
but I do love Chicago, but I could.
I don't even thinking about it. I'd miss the Four Seasons, but the good, I don't know. And then one led to another. I treat people right. People kept getting referrals, and so I go down there quite often. And then I do, where I grew up, Riverside, Brookfield, Berwyn area. So that's kind of like my triangle. But you know how it is. Then you go where your client wants. You got to go downers.
But that's nice. Here in XR, that's what we do. We're kind of like within an hour from the office, we cover it.
Yeah, I mean it's just everyone you get somebody, they move next door to you or whatever in your neighborhood, they get a job change or life change, like, hey, you know what, I'm looking. I had one, they lived in Norwich and they moved out to Cary. They went new construction.
But I know you, again, going back to Hyde Park, you said one thing led another. Like, it didn't just happen like that.
Let's talk about, this is years.
Besides client, let's talk for realtors out there, right? Because, we are recruiting and we know we're taking on more agents. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, what did you do to get these relationship and to become, like, one of the top agent in Hyde Park besides you do everywhere else? But, how do you get one client after another in Hyde Park? Like, what did you do?
You guys, it sounds easy. You guys show up, man.
You got to show up.
You got to show up. Like, you can't, some people want to, we're talking about buy smart. I said marry smart, the other joking around. But, like, some people want to be realtor smart. And they want to just work, I got to see if they're serious. And they try to pick and choose. It's impossible. How long we've been doing it, you never know. You could have the most motivated person. They never buy. And you could have a guy that's like, I don't think this guy. And you got to just show up and treat everyone the same. And if they're buying, I know we talked about $100,000, $1 million, or you get a $2 million buyer like Joey, you got to treat them all the same. And
then show up, number one.
Show up. You got to work.
But number two, what besides that? Like, how do they notice you?
How do you know? Well,
word of mouth.
Word of mouth is huge.
Okay, let's say number two.
But what is that? How did you get the word of mouth? Word of mouth comes from you got to perform. You got to know what you're talking about. You got to provide service. You got.
But you do have systems too.
Oh yeah.
Let's not talk about that's important stuff. People don't think automatically. People will understand that.
But in that systems, you push a button.
No.
Oh, you got to keep up with people. People call. I just got a phone call last night. I was like trying to leave somewhere at 8:00. I got a phone call of a relative that sold their house and they had like 10 questions on the sale. You got to answer the call. You got to answer the phone call. You got to pick up the phone. You got to reach out to people. So we do the mailers. We do the mailers. You got to be.
So you're doing mailers. You keep in top of mind.
You send gifts. You check. And then you get a lot of times you become friends with. You can't be friends with everybody.
How many mailers you send a year?
1,000, something like that.
No. How many mailers? Like how many times per year?
At least every quarter, and then every quarter. Then you got like at least every quarter. Then you have, then you got a social media presence.
Okay. How many times you post?
I don't count.
Sorry, I'm breaking it down. Just for the agent there. So
probably not enough, but I probably.
I mean, once at least. Let's say you should post maybe 5 times a week, but once a week.
Three times a week would probably.
3 times a week.
Probably more realistic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd be on top of mind.
Yeah. You got to show activity, right?
You got to show activity.
You can't just hang your license and be like, I'm a realtor, everybody, and then you disappear. You walk in the cornfields like Field of Dreams.
You're doing some networking. You're going to some events.
Yeah, and all these things lead up to. Also, you got to know your craft too. You got the like picking up the phone, showing up. I love what I do.
Yeah.
So it's like. I'm not like doing it with like a sour face, I'm not doing it with just like, I got to do this.
I got to think Cornetto was good. I love it.
Is it good?
Yeah, it was good.
You good now?
Yeah, I'm good.
You good for another? We get to the finish line. So, he's like
second half.
He's like, you got to make sure we get snacks now.
We're gonna have a different kind of podcast soon. With a special guest. We're gonna have a different podcast.
All right, we look forward to that. But so the systems, but you got to do it. If you miss one time, it's okay. Do it the next time.
Correct.
If it's not perfect,
I agree.
We're doing a flyer. You know what? I saw it, but am I gonna sit there? I'm like, I wish it would look like this. I already had it corrected once. I'm like, you know what? Let's just send it. I'll fix it the next one I do.
Yeah.
Just or else I'm gonna be screwing around here. I never send it nothing.
Yeah, because you're more like the kind of person like, there's different kind of people, right? There's some people that don't get me wrong, it's good to overanalyze and do it correct. But sometimes I'm the person, just get it done. I feel like you and me are like kind of like that person.
Yeah,
like, even if it's like, I don't know, maybe I don't want to say half-assed, but it's better half-assed than not zero. So
I don't want to say half. I just say we get it done.
I'm just saying, like my social media, you can look it up. Everybody can look it up. In the beginning, it sucked. It was bad. I had these weird videos. I didn't even know what I was doing. Little by little, it got better. But my mailers in the beginning sucked. My picture on my business card sucked. A lot of stuff sucked.
We had no one to teach it. We were just doing it. When we got in.
But people want this perfection. Like agents, like, I need to perfect. You gotta look like, I gotta look like Tom Cruise.
What do you sell? We're selling real estate. We're not selling.
You're not selling yourself.
I'm not selling a suit jacket.
Exactly.
I'm not selling. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you like? What are you selling? My thing is, I'm trying to tell mine. I gotta know what the heck I'm doing when they want to buy a house. If I look good in a picture, who cares? If the guy's asking me 5 questions and I can only answer 2.
Learn about the house more than anything else.
Well, the house, how the system works, what happens in this situation, what would you do? You give the options. You don't want to make the decision. They can't make the decision. It's their money. Like I told one person, the goal is you to be happy. I could get you.
But how do you learn about the house? And I'll try an example out there. Like I have like a new agent, right?
Okay.
Like he doesn't know nothing about housing and everything and how the house worked. I'm like, listen,
the next
few inspections that I have, you just go there and you should volunteer. You should say like, I'll go there for free.
If you know what you do
and learn.
You buy that grandma house you talked about.
And you fix it up.
You learn fast.
Yeah, you'll learn a lot.
You learn fast.
That's
one of my uncles.
Me too.
He's like, are you handy? I'm like, oh, not really. He goes, buy a house. You'll learn fast. He was right. He was right, because stuff's breaking all the time. You're like, this.
I was going to say...
I've been looking up...
This is what I was going to say. I was going to say this phone could help you, YouTube channel and stuff, but that's BS too, because hands-on helps you more. Well, you have to go and do it.
You don't have to go start hammering nails.
No.
But the pain, right? The wonder of, okay, what the heck is wrong with this? What's wrong with that? I tried this worked. Just the whole struggle. You kind of empathize with people more because you've been through it. So, unfortunately... There's no shortcut to learning everything in a week. It comes with time, and as time goes, you got to be better. That's the thing, though. You have to keep doing stuff, and you learn more and more and more. We're still learning,
And you got to be patient.
We're still learning. We still make mistakes.
No, every day.
So
you got to be patient and be consistent, and don't just give up.
Yeah.
So that's what it comes down to.
That's what it is, man. So, Joe,
nice.
We could carpool. You go to Bridgeport. I'll keep going a little further to 47th. I'll pick you up on the way back.
Sounds good.
You go by your aunt's house or whoever's down there.
We're doing a lot of stuff here at XR. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to have, December, correct me if I'm saying something wrong. December 16.
That's a Saturday.
We're going to have Santa Claus. We're going to offer hot chocolate, cookies, and we're going to have I don't know if I'm saying it right, carolers?
Christmas carolers. So we're having professional carolers here.
We're not doing the singing?
No. Joey was ready.
Man, Joey was
excited.
There's a big thing. They're going to be singing right on the street, right on Harlem Avenue.
Front, but we want everyone to come in. We'll have hot chocolate, coffee, we'll have cookies.
Yeah, little giveaways. And just interact and hang out.
Come by, hang out. If you're doing, the hips up the street. So if you're going to Target, whatever, Best Buy.
If you're going to the mall.
And then we're doing it again on that Friday.
We're doing on the Friday before Christmas, December 22nd.
22nd. So the 16th, 3:30 to 6:30?
16th, 3:30 to 6:30. And then
the 22nd, what's that?
5:30 to 8:30.
5:30.
A little bit later because, it's a Friday before Christmas.
Friday,
people are going to be shopping at the hip. So
hopefully we'll see you guys on the 16th or 22nd. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Ciao.